Hey everyone. So I am coming to you live from my couch, and it is a Monday night. We've had to swap tonight over. It is normally a Sunday night, so thank you for everyone who does tune in tonight. I'm super excited tonight, like I am every single week, because I've got someone who's got a similar story, but an even more incredible story. So for those of you who haven't been on one of my lives before, you may or may not know a bit of my story, but I'm really getting these lives going because of health, weight loss, mindset, lifestyle, wealth creation, that kind of thing. And for me, it also really started 5 years ago now. So, before I found nutritional cleansing, I was training hard, I was eating clean, I was doing everything right. Hey Sean, hey everyone jumping on. And, I just wasn't getting the results. I was a professional yo-yo dieter, Weight Watchers, soup diets, low carbs, no carbs, everything. And I just wasn't feeling like I should given the effort I was putting in. So I was introduced to the program by a friend of mine. I didn't know her so well, but I'd seen some things on Facebook and I was like, what are you doing? And it was 6 weeks until my wedding. And within, a few weeks of starting my 30-day system, I started to feel really great. I was bouncing out of bed, I had heaps of energy, and, the weight loss was almost just a side effect. So I guess at that point I knew something was fundamentally different. I was a graphic designer at the time, and I was absolutely a frustrated traveler. I loved my job, but what I didn't love so much was only having 4 weeks off a year and absolutely having a capped income, having to choose between traveling and experiencing the world and buying a house and all that kind of thing. So I did really well within 6 months. I mean, it has been 5 years now, and within a year I went 6-figure income, and I just really love showing other people that not only that can they be in their healthiest body and feel the best they ever have, and even more so now that I've got baby Ivy and I get to work from home with her, but show other people that they can do that as well. So tonight, I'm super excited to introduce my guest. I'll bring her on in just a moment. Gee, I can see you're jumping on. She's a really good friend of mine. She's over in Adelaide, and she's just made absolute waves with this. For her, it absolutely started as a health transformation and as an exercise physiologist qualified. She's really made a bigger impact, sharing Isagenix and nutritional cleansing with others, and now gets to live absolutely a laptop lifestyle. I'm just going to find you on my list and bring you on. All right.
Hey.
We're here. Hey G, how are you?
Good. How are you? I'm just going to try and set this up so that it's... Can you see me all okay?
I can see you smoking.
How are you?
As usual. How are you?
I'm good. This is so cool.
I know. You never done a split screen?
No, never. It's first time.
You're so modern now. Thank you for doing it tonight. I know we had to switch the nights and everyone jumping on. Hey, everyone. Thank you for being on here tonight. I just introduced a little bit of your story, not very much. I don't know if you heard it. Waiting for
I
be
did.
approved to be on.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I'll let you, I guess, tell me a little bit about what life was like for you before nutritional cleansing and a bit about your story there. And yeah, we'll start with that.
Yeah, cool. So thanks for having me on here, by the way.
Cool.
So, I mean, my story really started about 4 and a bit years ago. And my whole life, I guess I was unhealthy. I was overweight. At one point, I was in the obese section. And for me, I was constantly looking for the next best thing that was going to change my life and, fix me, I guess, that magic pill or whatever we like to call it. And I tried so many different programs under the sun. Like, I'm talking like body trim, light and easy. I'm pretty sure one time I did the cabbage soup diet when I was younger. Like, literally, you name it, I probably tried it. And I found, like a lot of people, I was on a vicious yo-yo diet. I would do well, and then suddenly it would be like 2 weeks in and it was so freaking hard that I would then just lose it and binge or go off track. And at that stage, I was never into exercise. I'm not a natural exerciser. Like, I don't love it. I actually hate it most of the time. I just know it's good for your body. But it was really when I started studying at uni. I did human movement first, and then I decided to do an extra year and become an exercise physiologist. And it was during that time that I tried to do things by the books. I tried to do things the way that I was learning, and I was following healthy eating. I was training my ass off, and I was not getting to where I wanted to be. And I was 22 at the time. You should be partying and having fun with your mates, and yet here I was wanting to stay at home and not drink alcohol because I wanted to stick to my goals, and I was exhausted. It just wasn't happening. I just reached this rock bottom, and I just reached this point where I thought, shit, like this, I'm never gonna be happy in my own body. I'm never gonna have that confidence that I'd always wished. And you know, for me, all I wanted was to feel good in my own body. I never had that. Like, I was a short, fat ranger, and that was my life for the majority of the time. And I just wanted to be different. I just wanted to feel good. So during that time that I'd reached that rock bottom, I saw these before and afters pop up on my Facebook. And I was actually introduced by the same person as Deanna was, our good friend Peter. I had no idea who she was. I had no idea what Isagenix was. I was so naive, I guess, to just think that it was a nutrition program that you bought online. And usually I would never go for something like that. But the timing, I was just so desperate. And these before and afters, I was like, these are unreal. Like, I couldn't deny that they were phenomenal. So spoke to Peter. She said to me, look, you know, you can get your money back if you try it for 30 days and don't like it. And for me, that was huge, because every single program that I had done before, not one single program, not one PT, nothing. Even if you go buy products at Woolies, they will not refund you if you think they're shit at the, you know, after you've used them. So the fact that I could get my money back, I was like, this is a safe bet. I'm going to give it a go. I'll probably return it because it probably won't work like the rest of them. But it worked. Like in my first week, and it's different for everyone, my first week, I dropped 2 kilos in my first week, which would usually take me a month of clean eating and exercising hard. My energy went up. I finally felt satisfied because I was actually nourishing my body the way that it was meant to. So I know a lot of you can relate, probably watching this, that you think to lose weight, you need to drop your carbs and get rid of that. That's the worst thing that you can do. Your body needs that. And for me, I was in that mindset as a chick, thinking that's the easiest way to do it. And so as soon as I started fueling my body with the products as well as whole foods, my energy went through the roof. And I was just like, finally, like, I remember waking up one morning and just running downstairs. I was living at my parents' house at the time, running downstairs. And I was like, Mom, I feel so bloody good. Like, I don't know what the hell is in this, but it's working. And from that point on, I mean, I've lost 23, 25 kilos in total. I don't have to stress anymore about finding the next best thing. I know if I want to go strict, how to go strict. I know how to have a balanced lifestyle. Deanna knows I love a vino most weekends. But I finally have confidence in my own body, and I can, it's just how it's meant to be. It's how being healthy should be. Like, you should feel good. You shouldn't have to be dieting for your whole life, and you should still be able to enjoy life. So, yeah.
It shouldn't be as hard. I love that. That your story in that aspect is so similar to mine, having done everything under the sun and always trying that next best thing. I know if I had something coming up, like my go-to was the soup diet. Like, yeah. I'd crank that out 2 weeks. And I was like, you know, you got to 2 weeks with a lot of them. Half of them I'd be like a week and I'm like, nah, I'm over it. I'm hangry and all that kind of jazz. So yeah. It's so nice to finally, and I think now I'm almost taking advantage of it, because it's like, it's so easy. I know. and it's almost like, all right, now I do need to rein it in a little bit, because I just take a little bit too much liberty with it sometimes. But look, it is really it's so amazing to finally have that freedom and not have that stress anymore. Just know that you've got it in your back pocket, and if you need to pull a really strict 30 days, you can, and if you just want to cruise with it, you can as well. So it's so liberating to finally find that solution. You know, that means you don't have to find the next thing. And so how do you feel now that you don't have that stress, you know, day to day, you know, that weight lifted off your shoulder?
It's weird now. I don't really think about that much because it's become normal now, I guess. Like I try and think back in the days when I was like at uni, like hardcore dieting, and that was literally the worst time of my life. Like that was so hard compared to this now. And I'm about to start another 16-week challenge soon, and I'm so ready for it because I've just moved house. I haven't been training as hard lately, and I'm so keen to get back in that routine because it's just such a difference now. Like I feel so much better, especially when I'm using the products, and I can tell when I'm not, but there's just an ease to it. Like I don't have to change my whole life around to do it. I may have to stop my partying for a little bit, which is like, look, health goals. But it's just, there's an ease to it now. It's just, I guess, 4 years I haven't had to stress about it. And that used to be my number one biggest stressor, like constantly on my mind, like finding that next best thing. And I just don't have to anymore, which is good.
And just putting in so much effort to get such little result.
Yeah.
It's, I hear you.
Yeah.
It's I'm about to start again, having had Ivy, and I have completely taken a lot of freedom with it. And, you know, I've been using it not for dieting, but purely to nourish my body now, because that's what I've realized so much about a lifestyle. And I've just got a group of all these mums who are all going to be supporting each other in their own goals. So I'm really excited to try to be a bit more strict, but it's easy to, like, you know, be loose with it because we can, and we know that, you know, we don't have to stress. So, all right. So you had great results, and, you know, it was all about health for you at the time, and it still is. You know, the product's first and foremost amazing. But I remember, you know, you finished studying and then you went and did this big trip overseas, as, you know, you do in your early 20s. And it was only when we were chatting the other day, I was like, oh yeah, I remembered that word getting around, and it was you, but we hadn't met at that stage. It's like, oh, there's this girl who she's, you know, traveling and she's getting paid while she's traveling. And I only pieced the two together after we'd spoken. So, you know, I realized it was you. So what was that like? I mean, you would have been partying and traveling with heaps of other people who, you know, maybe they hadn't even gone to uni yet. They didn't know what they were doing, and they definitely had saved up a lot to go overseas, as you would have. But you had just started this nutritional cleansing. You just started to get your health back. You started to share with a few people. But that's where kind of, you know, the whole profession kind of came into your headspace. What was that like, traveling and getting paid to do so?
Look, that trip and finding these products before I went flipped everything on a head for me, because I was brought up to think of like a traditional way of working, and I always thought that you had to work the 9 to 5 and work your ass off, work overtime and all of that to be able to get in front, and always thought you had to be like owning your own business or whatever it was. So I always had that in the back of my mind. I just finished studying 4 years of uni, and I was in my gap year, and I wanted to travel. I went to go travel for 5 months, and I'd finished, like I'd realized how good the products were. I naturally just started to share it. I had no idea, and some people don't believe this, but it is legit. I had no idea that there was an associated business with this at all. I genuinely just thought it was a nutrition program you bought online. And so when I started to feel good, it was easy. People were saying to me, like, what are you doing? And I'll tell them, I'd be like, I'm doing Isagenix. I wouldn't even think twice about it. Like, I had no idea about network marketing. So I had no idea that, you know, of any stigmas or anything. I didn't care. I just said, this is what I'm doing. You can do it if you want to. And people would try it. The first person was my mum, good old mum. And then a couple of my best friends decided to do it as well. And then I got paid for that. And I remember Peter saying to me, like, Georgie, the more people you help with this, like, the more you can get paid. And I just finished my studies to be an exercise physiologist. I had a passion already in health, and it helped change my life so much and got me out of a really, really dark place, that if I could help just one person go through that to me is everything. And on top of that, if I get paid for that, I was just like, that's unreal. So I traveled for the 5 months. I kept sharing it during that time. And I ended up getting paid every single week that I was away for the 5 months. And it was in my last month away, last 2 weeks away, I was sitting on the beach with my laptop, doing some work, listening to a podcast on network marketing, and it all hit me. And I was just like, shit, like this is actually happening. Like you see other people doing it and you think, oh, it's fine for them. Like I was watching Peter like go for it. She was a young person who was traveling and she was helping all these other people. And I was like, I want that, but I don't think I can do it. And then suddenly it was happening. And so in my mind, I was like, I'm meant to be going home from this trip to go work full time in a clinic. And now I'm not sure, like it just changed everything for me. It changed my whole mindset of what's possible, of how you can work, and how many people I can impact. Like I could help people from my laptop who are on the other side of the world. And so that was a huge realization for me. And I came home from that trip. I didn't actually work in clinic for about another year, I think. And during that time, I'd built my business up to 6 figures. I then went to work in private practice part-time for about a year. And then it got to the point that I was just like, so the clinic that I was working at, I would charge $140 for an hour for someone to exercise with me. And I could help 30 people in an hour online on my laptop. I could help change their life and nutrition, and they can have a transformation that's lifelong. And so for me, I was just like, why wouldn't I choose something like that? I can work on my own terms. I can get paid more. Yes, I might have been charging $140 an hour in the clinic, but I was only getting $30 of that. The rest was going to the owner of the clinic. So there were so many things popping up for me that were huge realization that I didn't want to work in clinic anymore. And then I made the decision to jump all into this, and best decision ever.
Yeah. I guess, you know, that you were already coming from a health professional background. So you could see how many more people you could impact with the frustrations that you had lived with always. And, you know, I loved my job as well, but I realized, I'm like, hang on. You're telling me like, why didn't anyone tell me about this before? Like, why have I had to stress about finding this solution over and over again? I knew other people needed it as well. And then when you're like, you know, you realize, you're like, hang on, I'm doing it on the beach. I'm actually doing it. With that, like, it's crazy. So, all right, you get back from your trip. How did it impact your decisions? Like, what went through your mind at that point?
In all honesty, when I came home from that trip, I just kept wanting to help more people. Like I was so driven then to show others what was possible, I think, because not only the product side of it, and that's always number one for me and always will be number one for me, but after going on that trip and seeing all my other friends who were younger, who were wanting to travel as well, there was just this other side that I just wanted to share with so many people. And that's when I really wanted to run. But at the same time, that's when I had a lot of setbacks as well. A lot of people questioning what I was doing, why I was doing it. I mean, I had no idea what network marketing was back then. And so a lot of my mates and people around me had no idea what it was either. And so there was a bit of tough times there that I had to push through and like get over my own shit and get over everything else out there, people questioning me, and realize that myself and my team were helping a lot of people, and that's all that mattered. But it was from that point that I was so excited by this, and I could see what it was doing for other people, that outweighed anything that was thrown at me. Any negative comment, anyone that didn't think that it was, you know, possible, I didn't care. Like, it just, getting people messaging me crying because they were saying they could not believe how good they felt, or, you know, getting young mums who got an extra $200 into their household that week, and that saved them, or that paid off their mortgage for that week. Messages like that, like nothing could stop me.
Yeah, it's so fulfilling, isn't
Yeah.
it? It's like, oh, you know, I haven't felt this good in, you know, over 5 years, or, you know, all of a sudden we've earned an extra $500, and, you know, I'd like to replace an income so I can be a stay-at-home mom, and, you know, not have to go back to work, and all those kinds of things. And yeah, every day I just like pinch myself of what we've got.
Yeah, I know.
And I guess I'm the same. It's like, you know, you do have to overcome things, and anytime you do something a little bit different, I guess some people have something to say, and that's cool. But it really does, like, when you realize the impact you're having, it's like, all right, cool. Like, you just keep going because it's just so worth it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, all right. So you love network marketing now. What is it about the profession that you really froth on, I guess?
There's so many things. I'm obsessed with it, really. Look, there's so many things. And you saw me speak about this at the event a couple of weeks ago, whenever it was, but I feel as though this industry is so misunderstood by so many people, and that's no one else's fault but probably ours, network marketers themselves, because maybe we don't do a good enough job in explaining what it actually is. And also, in another sense, there are some crazy people that do this, not gonna lie. Like, there are, we're just honest, like, there's always a crazy person in what you do. But I guarantee if you're a plumber, or for an example, and you know, someone gets you to their house and you do a crap job, no pun intended by that, but if you do a crap job, it doesn't mean that every plumber in the world is shit. It just means that you're not great. Doesn't mean you're never going to use a plumber again. It just means you're going to use someone else. Same with network marketing. I think so many people can hear a story from their, you know, brothers, friends, second cousin, and then think that's the only story that there is. But a lot of it's just that the whole industry is totally misunderstood. It's when you actually look around now in society, network marketing is actually happening everywhere. You look at I guarantee you most gyms, and probably the gym that you go to, will now have a thing where, you know, if you refer a friend, you can get $2 off your membership every month. That's network marketing. Pretty much. It's the same. It's referral based. HelloFresh. I use HelloFresh. I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
If like someone uses my code, if I refer it to someone, they get $50 off their box and I get $50 off of mine. It's just how things are moving on. People are realizing that instead of pouring billions and billions, like bigger companies, instead of spending billions and millions of dollars on advertising and TV ads and radio ads, they've realized that people trust their friends and family more, and that they're going to buy from their friends and family, not some billboard or someone talking shit on a TV ad instead. So that's all that network marketing is. But as an industry itself, people aren't wanting to work 9 to 5 anymore. Mums aren't wanting to leave their babies and work away. People are wanting to work from home. People are wanting the choice to be able to travel. And it's not to say that you still have to work hard in network marketing. Like, you still have to work hard in it. There's no easy way out or any of that. You have to help a lot of people if you want to be successful in it, but you can do it on your own terms. And I think that's becoming the new way of doing things. And I think it should be normal. I think we're so caught up in the traditional ways of working, in the sense of you work 9 to 5. You have to work overtime to get in front and climb up that corporate ladder. Like, that in itself blows my mind, that people don't get paid for working overtime. Whereas network marketers, we get paid based on the amount of people that we help. And I think that's, to me, that seems normal. Not working for someone else and getting someone else all the money, and you're only getting a small amount. And even if you work hard and work overtime, you still get nothing. And yet the majority of your life, you're working, you're at work, you're away from your family. So why not flip that?
You're giving your time to someone else. And, you know, you said that, you know, you're working up your way up to earn more and get to that, I guess, that better position. And what I'm finding now is a lot of peers, maybe people I went to school with or friends who are similar age, they're kind of at their peak, and it's kind of like they're hanging on to their jobs because at any moment they can be pushed aside for someone who's younger and cheaper. And you get to a point where there's kind of a limit. And what I love about network marketing is the sky isn't even your limit. You have no limit. We haven't spoken anything about residual income at all, and I know we weren't going to, but I think and I thought of this because you mentioned HelloFresh. We use it as well. You know, I was at my cousin's last night. She uses it. Her friends who were there, like, we were all using it, right? And there's these codes, right? So you use a code. You can give me the code. I'll get $50. You get $50. Now, if I continue to order it, you're not going to get anything.
Yes, that's the
it's just a
difference.
one-time.
Exactly, that's the difference.
So this is where I want you to tell me a little bit about residual income versus something like that.
And this is
where it's different.
Yeah, this is where a lot of people don't understand, I guess, the power of network marketing, but also the power in a phenomenal product, because there is no way I'd be where I'm at today if the products of Isagenix were shit. The only reason I am where I am today is because they're so good that people try it and they want to be using it for the rest of their life. And every time anyone that I've helped go to reorder, I then get paid for that again. I get a reward for that again. And so not only is that a testament to the actual products themselves, to show that they do genuinely work, but as a business model, I don't know anyone else out there, as you just said, HelloFresh, you get $50 off the first time, but what about every single time they come back, they get nothing? I know people, Instagram is actually now catching on to things like that. You see a lot of the influencers on Instagram who have these codes for like a clothes shop or whatever, and they say, use my code and you can get 10% off. That 10% actually goes to them every single time. So once again, that's another example of what's going on around us already. That is pretty much network marketing. It literally is like exactly the same. It's just people as I said, it's totally misunderstood, and that's our fault. If anyone's, we've got to take responsibility for that. But it is happening everywhere now.
Yeah. And also further to those Instagrammers, like, okay, yeah, you could get 10%, then it goes to them. But in network marketing, you have the opportunity to do the same. You're not on Instagram. I buy something, let's say you've got a code, I'll get 10% off. You get the difference, right?
Yeah.
But I don't then have the opportunity because I don't have an affiliation with that company. And what I love about this is that I was that person. I was looking for my next 30-day quick fix before my wedding.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, like, I started to get my stuff paid for. That's how it started. I was like, no, wait.
Yeah.
Why didn't we learn this at school?
No,
like,
it's crazy. Like I that was one thing that I struggled with when I was traveling. Like I was trying to learn more about the industry, and I was listening to like these podcasts, and in my head I was like, man, if they told me this in like year 10, I would have left. I would have dropped out. Like, what's the point? And now my parents kill me because I went to uni for 4 years, and now like I worked in the clinic for a year, and they're just like, what a waste of bloody time. But I mean, yeah, we're just lucky. There was something I was going to say before that, but I've forgotten now. It's okay.
Yeah, no, and you're right. And I feel the same about, before this landed in my lap accidentally, I had started a business that I'd invested thousands in, importing Attain handmade jewelry, because I was looking for that solution to have the freedom to work from anywhere, but then also have the choice to not have to choose between a career and be a mum when the time came, which is now. So we get to, be a full-time family, and it's just so cool. It's just changed.
Yeah. And that's something that I haven't thought about. I don't want babies yet by any means, but I had a conversation with one of my girls recently, and she is a solicitor, and she, you expect lawyers to get paid, a really good amount of money, and she's wanting to have kids soon, and she's so frightened to fall pregnant because she knows then that she's going to be dropping out of work for a bit, and she doesn't want to just go back to work straight away. And what scares her the most is the fact that she doesn't know if, her and her family are going to be able to get by. And I just think that's so wrong. Like, you shouldn't feel like you can't have a family because of your financial situation. And like, one thing I was listening to today is that I used to be so scared to talk about the money and the business with people. It used to freak me out because I didn't want people to think that I wanted them to do it, and I just got nervous about it. Like, it's not why I did this. I did this for the products. But really, like, when you're looking at overall health, and when you look at the majority of situations in families, the biggest stressor in families is money, and that stress itself is not healthy for your body. So you might have the healthiest body in the world, but if you're not financially secure, you can't say that you're completely healthy or well. Like, an overall wellness is not there. So you really do have to, and I'm not saying by any means that this is the only way. Gosh, no. Like, you don't have to do network marketing, but find something that you love, find something that you're happy to work on, find something that gives you flexibility to be able to live the life that you want to live. And this is just another option for you. Some people, I mean, I do this now full time, but some people, they just have it as a part-time residual income. That they love their full-time job. They love working, and we need that in society. We need people to love their jobs, and we need people to do 9 to 5 work. But there's an opportunity and a vehicle here for people to be able to build something that is going to be residual, that's never going to stop unless you stop, and it's going to be a legacy, something that you can pass on down, or something that's going to be there for financial security for family forever. And that's, I feel as though, I mean, I was so young when I started this that I wasn't fully, and I even said this, Alex, the other night, I'm like, sometimes I feel as though I'm not as appreciative and grateful for the situation, because I'm quite young, I haven't had a family yet, but I look at other people's situation and I look at where I want to be in 5 years' time, and I'm just like, thank God I've got something like this. Like, it's just, as I'm getting older, I'm just realizing how lucky we are to have it.
Yeah. I've got a whole new appreciation since Ivy's been born, from the nutritional point of view.
Yeah.
Can only eat with one hand. And, even today, for example, like, she had me up a few times last night. I am beyond exhausted today. I don't know if I'm Arthur or Martha. And in between, like,
well yet?
feeding her. Sorry?
Is she sleeping well yet?
No, like, so no. She was waking up once, now it's a couple of times. The last feed was late. So today I was really, really tired. I slept on the couch for a couple of hours. And I had a phone call with one of my girls, and I sent a couple of messages to the others. And that's where I think the power and leverage really comes from this, that, even if I've done a lot of hard work, but even if there's a day or two where I'm not, like, I'm still going to get paid, and I don't have to ask my boss for the time off or anything. So
yeah,
you'll have another whole level of appreciation when a little one comes.
I know. I keep thinking, like, it's starting to, like, play on my mind, and I'm just starting to think, oh my gosh, I gotta keep pushing now before I have any kids and take this to another level. But yeah, we're lucky.
All right. Well, then last question. Then, where do you see this going in the next 5 years?
That kind of, I caught up with Claude, and I had coffee today. I picked her up from the airport. She came back and we were chatting, because we've got a lot going on right now, and we always sit there and think, oh my gosh, like, what's it going to be like next year? And so I can't even think about what it's going to be like next year compared to 5 years time, because I haven't even been doing this for 5 years yet. And when I first started, I never, ever, ever, I never thought that I'd be where I am today. And so in 5 years time, I don't know, it's like, scares me. But I'm excited, because I just feel as though, if that means I at least double the amount of people that I've helped, that's going to be, in my organization, it's going to be around 15,000 people. And that, to me, I just think of the stories that are going to be behind all of that, and that's huge. But also, I'm never going to stop working at this ever. I'm still going to be working hard at that, no matter what. It's just, it's almost addictive to see how other people like to help other people with it.
Yeah. It's fun. I want to
I know. I'm so excited. You're breaking up a little bit, so I think I caught most of that. But I mean, as you just said, the fact that, and that it goes to show the ripple effect, and once again, that comes back to the products in the sense of, yeah, I think that comes back to the products, and it really is a ripple effect. Like, I'm sure, yeah, that's okay. Might be my end.
At the end anyway. So, G, I'm so thankful for your time tonight. I know we had to swap it around, and I'm so grateful that you were able to get on and share your story. I know that there's so many people who need to hear what you were sharing, and hopefully it'll change something in their mind, or maybe just flick a little light switch of what's possible.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me on here. It's been so fun. It's my first time ever, my first live. I was a bit nervous, but oh well, it's good.
It's so cool. And that's the thing, like anyone, you can do things, you can be nervous and you can be where you are and you're still, learning stuff. So it's so cool. Awesome, G. All right, I'll let you go. Thank you so much. Have an amazing week, and I'll speak to you soon. See you, chick. Bye.